What's funny, so we recently did something a few months ago, and I was trying to get Daredevil Season 3 stuff out of him. He's like, nope, nope, and nope. But now...
now
you get 3 nopes and 1 yes.
Exactly. It's exactly. So I've seen the first 3 episodes of the season. They're so well done. And one of the things I really enjoy about this show, and especially this season, is Erik has... There's just all the characters are so well rounded and well written. Talk a little bit about Erik as a new showrunner and maybe what he brought to the table.
I basically can't say enough good things about Erik. I mean, it must be so difficult to come in not only on a second season but on a third season and run a show. And Erik brought a level of confidence and clear vision that I think is really important. But he also was able to be open-minded, and I always felt like my ideas were considered. And there were times where I'd bring something to him and he would be like, that's a really good idea, let's do that. And there'd be other times where I'd take an idea to him and he'd be like, that's awful, we're not doing that. And that's just that in and of itself is, I think, really, really important to have.
He's also fun. Like, he's geeking. He's so excited to have the job. So that enthusiasm and energy, most enthusiastic showrunner I think I've ever worked with. You're excited to do his stuff, and he's excited to do your stuff, and it's just, it kind of all feeds off each other.
I think probably we were probably a little nervous because again, you feel like you know these characters' voices very well after a couple of years, and so this question of was he going to get that? Were we going to read these scripts and not recognize the way these people spoke? And obviously that was not the case at all.
I saw Erik in the hallway when we were geeking out about the season, and he mentioned to me that you have a full episode this season that's a Karen-centric.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about when does he tell you early in the season, hey, we're going to do one that's just Karen, and what is it like when you get that script and you're like, wait a minute, what?
I mean, Erik was really generous, and I think he sat down with each of us individually and just like, because he knew we were nervous, and so he told me that we would be going into Karen's backstory, why picking up a gun and shooting someone would have been sort of in her wheelhouse. And I was very excited about that, and he took a lot of the concerns I had, because I had 2 showrunners previous to him that had different ideas for those backstories. So each season I'm playing different things and trying to make it all work with all the different clues that we've had. And he had the same challenge. Every clue that was dropped, he had to lay into this backstory. But I did not know that it would be an episode. I thought maybe it'd be a little spread out throughout the thing. So when I saw that and that we were really going to do a deep dive, I was thrilled. It was so much fun to shoot. I have said this before, and I will continue to say it. It was 2 of the most fun weeks of my career. It was really tremendously fun.
And are you allowed to say which episode it is?
No.
Got it. Say no more. So it's somewhere... Okay.
I am. She's not allowed to say.
Right, exactly.
I can tell you.
Somewhere between the first episode and the last episode.
Exactly. For all 3 of you, what's a day or 2 from filming season 3 that you will always remember? Is there like one day that really sticks out?
There is for me, yeah.
Is it episode 4?
Yeah. Yeah. That's a pretty memorable 2 days.
Right. I'm not going to say anything on camera.
Have you seen it?
I'm watching it later today.
Okay.
But I was hurt. Someone named Erik in the hallway said, because I made it to episode 3, that he said, you're going to be very happy when you get to episode 4 because it takes on some action that you might be enjoying. That's what he said.
Yeah.
Right, and I can see by the face that I will be very happy. So episode 4 for you.
Yes.
Okay.
I would say, generally, I've never participated in a show that had this kind of action work. So anytime we were doing, any one of a number of big action kind of set pieces, that was really fun for me and new. And I really loved, it's not a single day, but the training process, working with the stunt team, the choreography, and then on the day, getting to. Well, maybe it's with you, or maybe it's with you. Who knows? I could be just fighting anyone.
Exactly.
But yeah, it was a really cool process and fun. I think kind of one of those childhood dreams when you're like when I used to play Army or whatever with my brother. It was that kind of same kind of feeling.
Yeah, I was able to do a scene with Vincent this year, and we shot it during a huge blizzard. So it was like a half day because they wanted to make sure everybody could get home safely and things like that. So you would be outside and it's just this white out roaring snow, and then you'd come into this like warm, dark, quiet little soundstage, and we did this crazy intense scene for like 8 hours. And I don't know, it just felt like this perfect metaphor in a way. So yeah, I'll always remember that kind of coming together.
When the scene you're referring
Yeah.
to, when we read that at the read through,
Yeah.
I remember thinking that's one of the best written scenes.
It was
of this,
very,
of this
very well
entire
written.
show.
It's a great.
I can't
great scene.
wait to see that.
Yeah.
I was going to speak.
It's like the only scene I've ever been like, I'm really jealous that I'm not in that scene.
Well, I have a lot of those for you, so
yeah.
I'll take one.
Speaking of Vincent and Kingpin, I love his work as Kingpin. He brings such a gravitas, and he's so fucking good in the role. Sorry for cursing. But talk a little bit about working with him, because I think he's he's my favorite, and I think it's for most fans he's the favorite villain, if you will, on all these shows.
I mean, I would just say the great thing about working with Vincent is you don't, as a Kingpin, you don't have to do a lot of acting when you're, opposite him, because he is that in real life. He brings that gravitas as a human, not just as the character. So.
Oh, I don't know. I wonder if he's different, because when.
He's kinda.
Well, no, I mean, because when we did it, he was very playful and a little flirty, and kind of like he was very not Kingpin when we weren't rolling. And I found that really intriguing and interesting, because it kept me kind of like, I was excited. I was like, okay, let's go with action, because I want to see what you're gonna bring. Like
Right.
it wasn't one sustained energy. It was this kind of thing. So I don't know. Maybe he tailors to what he thinks the scene needs, or I don't know. It was interesting.
He's also very, especially coming into it this season. Vincent strikes he cuts a bit of an imposing figure. So I was, a little kind of nervous about working with him. But he was he's such a warm, funny, and really kind of supportive guy and of course then that plays into the kind of storyline as well, which is. I can't get into too much, but it's I get to have some great scenes with Vincent and kind of playing into that dynamic.
I have so many more questions for you, but I don't think I can say them on camera. I will just stop there and say, seriously, loved what I saw so far. Cannot wait to see the rest of the season.
Thank you so much. Nice to
Right.
see you again.
Have a great
Nice
day.
to see you.